going on?
Well, me and my girlfriend, we've been dating or going out, for about a year now, and we've done a few things, and the topic of sex has always came up. And, every time that, she, wants to do it, I always, freeze, and I get scared because I'm kind of embarrassed of my penis size.
It's too big?
I wish, Adam, I wish.
I mean, it's too small?
Well, yeah, it's pretty small.
Really?
Yeah.
How many penises is she seen in her young years?
I believe she was with one other guy before me.
Okay. Oh, just hope it wasn't that Tommy Lee.
Have you had puberty, Jim? I mean, do you have normal hair distribution and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You still got some years of growing ahead of you, okay? So don't get too anxious about this. And maybe you're not really ready to be physically intimate with someone. Maybe it's not the right time yet. Maybe
Well, how old is... Wait a minute. How old is she?
She is a year older than me. She's 17.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And how big are you, would you say? You've measured. So tell us.
I would say around 5'5".
So that's normal.
5'5"?
No, 5. I mean 5 inches.
I've got to say it twice. 5 inches. I don't know if you know it, Jim, but I think the average, and I swear this got to be in Japan, but 5.3?
3, yeah.
5.3.
And
5.3 is essentially a quarter-inch thicker, longer than 5 inches. It's essentially the thickness of a pencil more than 5 inches.
Adam has studied this size.
It keeps going down.
I know, and you get happy. It's like a sort of an antidepressant for you, isn't it?
By the time, Drew, I did some quick, I crunched a few numbers over the weekend. By the time I'm 126 years old,
it'll be 2 inches.
My penis will be larger than average. It goes down like an eighth of an inch every 5 years or something.
But Jim, the reason I
5 is fine.
Yeah, the reason I bring up the question of whether you're ready is the fact that your preoccupation with this, even with a normal size, suggests that this may not be something you're prepared for.
Now all guys do.
And women are not as preoccupied as men are. Very few women really concern themselves with this.
Is it a true 5?
Yeah.
You didn't commit Harry Carey with the ruler?
No.
Didn't lose 4 inches of it into your gullet? Into your gizzard?
Your pubic area.
Where's your gizzard? Down here?
Gizzard's up here.
Wait, no, I thought your gullet would be up here.
Oh, your gizzards are like...
Your gizzard would be lower. Like, that's pirate talk, right?
We don't really have gizzards, I don't think. Like, chickens have gizzards.
Yeah, but if a pirate stabbed you in the gizzard,
I guess you mean
he'd stab you in the belly,
yeah,
and he slit your gullet.
I guess. All right.
All right. Hey, it's Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Tonight our guest is the love that the two hosts find between the two of them. Hey, Drew, somebody was telling me, somebody in the industry was saying that they saw Conan O'Brien last week, and I guess Anne Heche was on Tuesday or Wednesday night, and it's funny because I get home about 12:30, and I usually turn on Conan, and there was Anne Heche as I was skipping through the channels, and I watched for about 20 seconds, and I skipped on, and somebody said that he said, what shows do you watch or what do you like, and she said, I love that Loveline.
That's nice. She's nice.
That is nice.
I heard about that too.
Yeah. Now, Anne can call her publicist and tell Anne's
three
times.
Plus fax a personal request.
I'm sure she's more than happy to come on, right?
You'd think she's got a movie out. She's got
This is not getting to her. This is not getting to her.
Well, obviously, but
because you know what?
Her home number?
You know what? No, but she is the kind of person that would call you and tell you the reason she can't come on.
Well, Anne, if you're listening, give us a call.
Yeah.
She likes that MTV part better. That's
Sorry, Ann.
That's the problem.
Well,
too bad you ain't taping.
I know.
And I would give her the same.
No, we'd still never get her anyway. Are you kidding?
Are we ever taping
it's the beauty of publicists.
Are we ever taping again? I've learned to just...
I have no idea.
Television is such a strange world.
I have no idea. Yeah. The other thing that happened to me is I had this uncomfortable...
By the way, let's thank Ann, okay? Let's
that's nice. We thank anybody who goes on someone else's show and talks about this show. I was having lunch with my girlfriend today, and she was bringing up marriage.
Imagine that.
And I was getting uncomfortable.
Imagine that.
and she said, listen, what would happen, when are we going to get engaged, and what would happen if I said, for instance, look, you got, a year to either get engaged or move on.
You got a year, but it started 9 months ago.
She said, what would you do? And I thought, I give the lamest answer in the world. I said, I don't know what I would do. It's like being attacked by a grizzly bear. I mean, you can speculate. You could say you're going to play dead, or you could say you're going to run, or
No, that is the kind of... No, wait a minute. That is the kind of reaction that any man would give, and that kills women when you say stuff like that. I mean, you're just stating a fact. You're not qualifying the kind of experience that it is.
I'm just saying I don't know.
You don't know how you'd react.
Forget all that. What is the problem, Adam?
What is the problem?
She is a wonderful girl.
Yes, she is.
I know. And
so what's the problem?
Oh, look at Lisa and Sherry got the head nodding.
We got all four of us. So what's the problem?
We got a lot of nodding going on.
What's the problem, dude?
I never thought of myself
married.
Is the guy who got married.
What's going on in therapy? Wasn't that supposed to solve all this?
Yeah, Drew, this stuff takes years.
I understand that.
Please. I've been going for like 7 weeks. Oh, it has nothing to do with my girlfriend. It just has everything to do with me not thinking. It's like someone saying, I don't know, why don't you move to France? And you go, oh, I don't know. And they go, what do you got against France?
Sometimes,
and you go, I don't know. I never thought about it. I just never pictured myself living in France.
Sometimes, as men, we are very lame.
But guys, don't use the attacked by a grizzly bear analogy.
Did she start crying right away?
No, she actually got a laugh out of it, and I kind of explained, which was, my explanation is, honestly, if a grizzly bear attacked me, I couldn't tell you how I would react. And I couldn't tell you how I would react if this happened, too. I didn't mean that marriage was like being attacked by a grizzly bear.
Yeah. Well,
it's marginally better, or worse, I think.
But sometimes it doesn't become clear to you until you take an action.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. Listen, this is just...
Because it's like anything else. You've got to plunge in some direction, sir.
Understand that before the entire house comes down, there must be a sufficient amount of decay and dry rot in the foundation.
Here we go again, and back to this romantic talk.
That's what's going on right now.
Yes?
The foundation is
rotting.
I can feel it rotting, and it's squeaking now more when I walk, and the house is going to topple down the hill any moment now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. But I didn't say no or anything. I just had to think about it a little.
But once you say yes, it may be clearer to you. One way or the other.
I know. I just, I just never pictured myself that way.
You know what? Yeah.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
Just
someone else's.
Yeah, right. Just not his own.
Oh, really? You don't want kids?
I do.
He never pictured himself that way either.
But I don't have a timeline, I mean, I could see myself getting married when I'm 38 and having my first kid when I'm 39.
He wants to marry a 12-year-old. All right.
Jill, I want to marry my kid. Jill?
Yeah?
You're 19.
Yeah. Boy. Well, for the past
to be 19 again.
I've been seeing a guy. We got together when he cheated on his girlfriend with me. And since then, it's been really up and down. He's lied to me several times.
Lied?
Been very manipulative.
What is this?
Telling me that, no, I'm not with his other girlfriend.
And then he was.
And I want to be with you and all that stuff. And I tried to kill myself about a month ago because I thought I lost him forever.
Losing such a peach as this fellow. Imagine how painful that would be.
Jill, let's not feel your loss or your potential loss, Jill.
Since there are only two of us here, let's not put money down on this, but shall we
All right. Go ahead.
dive in a little bit, Jill? Let's not even go any further with
What
the
happened to you?
What? Well, I got pregnant.
No. Why do you need to be such a victim? Why do you have to be victimized by a guy that's such an a-hole?
I don't know.
Why? What do you think?
Why? I don't know. I mean, I'm a very analytical person, and I know it has a lot to do with my past. And I was abused by my mom, and he does a lot of the same crap.
Of course.
That my mom did.
Of course. And to lose, it's like losing your mom. It's losing your opportunity to try to make that all right, to make your mom love you again. But you know that.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. He's never going to change.
I know, but the thing is, the big problem is that he's forcing me to have an abortion. And he said that if I have this baby, he will take all the legal action that he can to get it from my custody, just because he knows that that I don't want him to be around.
Guess what? He won't be able to do that.
How old is this guy?
He's 22.
What's he do?
He's a theater major at the same college that I am at.
No, wonderful.
I'm a theater major, too.
What college you at? What college?
Linfield College.
Oh.
In Oregon.
The fighting...
Woodchucks.
Wildcats.
Oh, Wildcats, yeah.
Yeah.
Put fighting in front of and figure out some animal, and you're got about 50-50 chance of getting it. Hey, Jill, where's this guy going to get his legal fund set up?
I have no idea.
Especially to take a child away from the mom. It's
that's never going to happen.
Never going to
please.
happen.
Yeah.
This guy.
This guy's an a-hole.
This guy's
please.
an a-hole.
He's a theater major, for Christ's sake. He's an actor.
But Jill,
yeah, that's my point. Look at you.
You're a professional victim now.
Yeah.
You really are. I mean, you know the stuff. You know the material. You understand where it's coming from.
I do.
Why not change?
All right, but I'm with him on the abortion thing anyway.
What?
I'm with him on the abortion thing. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, I was thinking about adoption.
Okay, that's fine.
God bless
Go ahead.
you.
Just because I
That's
really
good.
couldn't kill the child.
Good.
Don't
look at it as killing. Look at it as not letting live. There's a
Jill,
difference.
I think that the women that give themselves, that give that piece of their health and their life, and then their happiness too. I mean, it's so painful to give up a child and do that on behalf of the child. There really should be some sort of honorary something issued to women that do that. I mean, that is a very noble behavior. I'm telling you.
All right, listen, Jill, give the kid up for adoption. Not only, well, forget about the kid. The kid doesn't know what's going on. It's the people you're giving it up to. Now, those are the people that deserve it.
And then, Jill, if even in spite of all this insight and understanding to why you behave the way you do, you can't change, maybe it's time to get some professional help.
Yeah, and get out of that goddamn theater. Let me tell you something. I've seen many actor and many an actress in my day, and the only ones that are nuttier than the actors are the actresses. They're all effed up people. And actually, the publicists, agents, and all of them, they're pretty effed up too. They're kind of like the actors, except for they have, their teeth are bad and they can't get in front of the camera. But it's a whole mess. Believe me, it's bad at every level. There's something that's flawed about people who want to do this for a living. And I don't include myself in those ranks.
Oh, really?
I really don't.
Why not?
Well, as you recall, when I was asked to come out and do at least audition for Loveline, the TV show, I begged them not to take me.
That's just all your bravado to defend against the more vulnerable, anxious side of you that really wants to get involved with this stuff.
Well, however it works, I don't really want to do it. Now I have such a lifestyle that it forces me to do it, or I'll go back into male prostitution. David?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's going on? That radio doesn't count, by the way.
Yeah, radio is its own thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm wearing slippers right now.
I'm on Paxil.
Great.
30 milligrams, and I'm wondering if the drug DHEA will help increase my sex drive.
Unlikely. You mean the Paxil has shut down your sex drive?
It hasn't really shut it down. It's lowered it tremendously.
There are a multitude of... You got to understand, you're fighting a pharmacological side effect here, so you really need pharmacology to correct it.
Right.
There are... These days, there's sort of a science or a whole field developing in how to manage this particular problem. One way is take a break from your drug or reduce the dose. You're on a pretty decent-sized dose.
Really?
Secondly, add a medication called Wellbutrin or bupropion.
Is that in addition to the Paxil?
In addition to the Paxil. Other medications have been suggested as well, something called cyproheptadine. And DHEA, I've never heard. Viagra sometimes people use as an addition to try to get things going. But to me, as I read the literature, the one that has been sort of arrived at as a consensus, a place to start, is the addition of Wellbutrin.
Brandon.
Yeah.
You're 13.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I found out my dad was gay about a month ago, and I don't really know how to approach him. I've hung up on the phone with him like 4 or 5 times.
You're living with your mom now?
Yeah.
How'd you find out?
My godfather, he was really drunk one night, and I was staying at his house with my little cousin.
That's nice.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
It's quite a scene. Conjures up quite a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he said that
Norman Rockwell-esque.
Yeah. All right, sorry, Brandon. Go ahead.
I asked him if he knew the real reason why my parents got divorced, and he said, I asked if it was because, like, she caught him with another guy.
That's why?
With another girl.
Oh.
And he said, no, because she caught him with me.
Oh.
With the uncle.
That's wonderful.
Did you know your uncle was gay?
No, it's his godfather.
Godfather, rather? Well, uncles usually are in this role, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you excuse me for that mistake.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this your uncle?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Kind of. Not really.
It's
He's
uncle.
Really, really long time family.
You understand?
Yeah. Oh, uncle. Yeah. I believe that people, first of all, people use the uncle term quite loosely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they're very liberal with the uncle title.
It is no longer the brother of the parent. It is just a term of endearment.
Yeah, I think it comes from like Uncle Sam and Uncle Tom and stuff like that. But people like to use uncle. They'd never do it with like grandparent. But everyone is someone's uncle, and I sort of think they label close family friends to do this. My theory is so they won't molest the kids. Or they won't have they won't attack them sexually.
The one that you choose to do that with is usually the one that does that.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's your hopes that if you can bring them into the family and create some sort of false blood between you and
you sense the trouble there, and you try to bring them into the fray. I see. Okay.
Well, it's like I don't know, like if your daughter was camping with another one of your close friends' sons, and you didn't want any sexual hanky-panky going on there, you'd probably say this is your uncle and that's your niece or that's your cousin. Stay away from them.
And I don't know if it's just from doing this show, but as soon as the uncle term gets applied, I immediately get the heebie-jeebies like something bad's going to happen.
Okay.
All right, but Brandon, listen, let's stay with your problem here. Now, did you know that your stepfather uncle was gay?
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
And he has a wife?
Yeah.
Is it
oh my
This
God.
is my dad.
Your dad has a wife with somebody else.
Your dad's remarried?
Well, see, about 3 months ago, when I was living with him in Hawaii, I caught him cheating on her.
With another woman.
And they almost got divorced from that.
Is he doing drugs or alcohol or anything like that, your dad?
He was kind of with alcohol, but not that much anymore.
All right, Brandon, this is unfortunately the way your family, both your uncle, your dad, the way these people are behaving is unhealthy. Okay, it's a terrible model for you. And whether they're with men or women or whatever's going on, he's not gay because he's married. He's with a woman. He's with women. He's all over the place. It sounds like.
If it makes you feel any better, Brandon, many a rock star has exhibited this behavior. You know, David Bowie, Mick Jagger, Elton John, guys like this, George Michael. You know, they just they're drunk half the time. They're horny all the time, and whatever's near them will do. Doesn't make them gay. It gets them a step closer to that lifestyle, but it doesn't make them gay.
And people that are alcoholics do often exhibit sexual addictions as well, in which they use sex as another way of trying to make themselves feel better, and whatever is nearby and warm will sort of get involved in this. Brandon, just stay focused on who you are and how you want to conduct yourself in your relationships, and realize that the people around you in your family are not the healthiest folks, and it's not that they're gay or straight or whatever. They're just chaotic, and they have poor capacity for intimacy and committed relations.
And by the way, don't ask any questions, especially ones of a sexual nature to your family. I don't know if you're anything like me, Drew, but I wouldn't even get, I wouldn't even get near that.
My dad brought up yesterday night about your comments about his being rich and cheap.
Oh, that's good. Your dad was listening?
So finally...
Or somebody passed it along to him?
Listening, I guess.
No, you know what?
He blamed it all on me. So those were my statements.
Of course.
They were yours.
I would bet, well, yeah, but he knows how I know. I mean, how does he figure, you know what I'm saying? How does he figure I know he's rich and cheap?
I just described the circumstances. You made the conclusion.
Drew's folks had money, but they were a little bit frugal. It's one of these things where Dad grew up in the midst of the Great Depression, and once you've been deprived of money, no matter how much money you have, you always feel like it's scarce. Yeah. And that's how you use paper towels twice.
Well, and your dad
you do all that stuff.
Your dad has a theory about how dads make the sons sort of finish the work.
Well, they do. I mean, look at you. You're a doctor. Your dad was a doctor.
Yeah.
My dad was a struggling comedian for a time and an entertainer, and sort of his whole thing was like doing improvisational humor.
Isn't that interesting?
And he essentially does or did what I did, except for he doesn't make any money at it. Or didn't make any money at it.
You're finishing that work.
And the other thing that's interesting now is he's a psychologist, which is sort of woven into what I do on this job, at least, as well. So it's not a bad theory. But anyway, your dad busted your balls?
Yeah.
That's good. And, here's the sad part. I would guess that he didn't listen and hear it firsthand. I would guess that some a-hole told him about it.
That's why I got all blamed on me, because
if he was listening, he would have heard me say.
Right.
But he still would have blamed you because he'd know that we had some other conversation about his thriftiness. Drew said about his dad that he would steal the kernel of corn off a bingo card.
Say that.
Yes, he did.
Now I'm going to get blamed for that, too.
And squirrel it away for the winter. Absolutely.
Loveline's phone number is 1-800-LOVE-191.
Nice guys.
Yeah, nice guys. I'll tell you, I don't know if anyone was listening to the show, but we had Gunnar and Matthew in here a couple of weeks ago, and we decided it would be a real good time if we played some of the drops from when the Morrell twins were in here 2 weeks before that, who dated Gunnar and talked about...
oh my gosh.
I've... there was that commercial out for a while where it said, don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
Yes.
I've never hated a beautiful woman more than those Morrell twins. I really wanted to kill both those two. And, I do have sympathy for them because of what they went through growing up. I mean, something had to create those two beautiful monsters.
Yes, right.
But anyway... Here was the deal, and we thought it'd be good Loveline fodder. We had those two on. They started talking. One of them, or both of them, started talking about going out with Gunnar Nelson and threesomes and orgies, and he was addicted to sex. And then, because there may be a God, a week later, Ann was approached by Gunnar or the Nelson's people, and they said, "Yeah, sure, we'll bring him on." And we thought, hey, it'd be funny to play him these drops and let him hear this while they're on the air. It's a little bit of an ambush situation. Problem is I didn't listen to any of it beforehand, and I know Drew didn't either, and that's kind of how we run the show, or don't run the show, and there was many a thing that was said that was
very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. Ann, you were hiding under the console in the next room?
Well, because they were so nice.
They're
so bad.
Right. So here's the deal. Gunnar...
I wanted them to be jerks.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
The
Nelson brothers or twins are the nicest cats in the world. They really are.
Yeah.
And they came in, and they're friendly as hell. And I knew we were going to sort of ambush them a little, and I wanted to not like them because I knew what was coming their direction. And one of the first things they said was, first off, big fan of the show. It's really nice to meet you and the doctor. We're really thrilled to be here. And when I said... do you want to plug anything, any projects? What about the album, so on and so forth?
No.
We're just here to help. If it comes up, it comes up. But we'd really like just to talk to the people.
And we've never heard that before.
Not from any guest. God, it's too bad it wasn't like, Jackie Mason or Rodney Dangerfield or one of those buffoons, one of those blowhards that came in here that we could have, ambushed. But it turns out to be the two nicest guys in the world.
Well, and they took it well, though, too.
Yeah, but sitting about 2 feet across from Gunnar Nelson when, I think this is a quote, when she brings up dating the Nelsons, and then she says, "You remember the band Nelson?"
Oh, yeah.
And I shout out, "Those two idiots haven't sold a record in 10 years." That's real uncomfortable when you're sitting right across.
Here's the thing.
From the
Mike
guys.
cut out the bad stuff.
There was even worse. That was
We
the
left
good
the
stuff.
nice stuff
Yeah, that was
in.
the easy stuff.
Wow. What did I do? Did I label them
know how
both as
you are.
Satan? I don't know.
You're
what.
mean. You're
Oh,
vicious.
please.
There was a reference to their dad that we took out.
Oh.
Or two.
Okay. Well, I really like those guys.
Sure.
I'm still not nuts about those Morel twins, but anyway, these two twins are into Playboy, and I have them on my Busty Vixen.
A gunner, I thought, had that all sort of in stride.
Yeah.
He had it properly sort of positioned in his life.
Thank God. Thank God he wasn't drunk. Would have taken a swing at me. Imagine having one of the Nelsons kick your ass. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Lori, you're 16.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I had a question. Can you get pregnant if you have sex on your period?
Yes. Why? What's
How?
going on? By there
Why?
being a viable egg available in the tube. That can happen. What's happening? What happened?
Oh.
It's not likely, but it can happen.
Drew, you don't get the impression that Lori may have had unprotected sex while on her period, do you?
I promise you, Lori, if having sex during your period was a form of contraception, we'd recommend it because that'd be okay then.
Right.
But it's not a form of contraception at all.
No, but it does drastically reduce it.
I don't know about drastically, but it reduces it.
Well, would you say it varies from woman to woman?
Yes, I would say it does.
Would you say it goes from mild reduction to drastic reduction depending on the woman?
Yes.
Okay. Lori?
Mm-hmm.
You're 16?
Mm-hmm.
How old's your boyfriend?
Partner?
17.
17?
17. And
How old is he really?
17.
You sure?
Yes.
how often you having the unprotected sex?
I think we did it once,
How long ago?
a couple weeks.
While you're on your period?
No.
All right, well.
What's the period question for?
I just wondered.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, you really sounded...
Disturbed. Concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really, you really sounded as if it was affecting you firsthand.
Well, I'm half asleep because it's 2 hours later here. So I don't know if that has anything to do with
Okay, so you've never had sex on your period?
it. Mm-mm.
Okay. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, she's got a lot of charisma, this one. I bet that Lori's probably head of the cheerleading squad. Wow. 16 years old. Scary. I mean, she just sounded like a woman who'd had a couple alcoholic husbands, been around the block a few times. Just
hostile.
Yeah, I sort of seen a lot. And,
Yeah, maybe she had. Listen, in our country right now, 16-year-old can have seen a lot.
all right, wait a minute. Let me ask Lori something. Hey, Lori,
Yeah.
what's going on with you?
How do you mean?
Where are your folks?
My dad's at work and my mom's in the next room sleeping.
Uh-huh. You going to school?
Well, not currently. We just got out Wednesday.
All right, but in general, you're enrolled and everything?
Yep.
Hey, Drew, next time we're doing the TV show,
Yeah, if there is such a time.
and someone says to us, are you guys still doing the TV show? Make sure your answer is not right this second, not right now, not now. But tomorrow, yes. Okay?
Yeah.
Lori?
Mm-hmm.
And you getting good grades and everything?
Okay, grades.
All right. And your boyfriend treating you right?
Yeah.
Is he your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't get pregnant, Lori.
I won't.
I can hear it in your voice. You're a real nominee for that kind of life.
If you say so.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, it's got to be scary to be... I don't know if you want to call it angry, bitter, whatever it is, but just to sort of give off that vibe at 16.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
unpleasant to be around.
Yeah, it's
If
sort
you
of...
want to know why not to behave like that, just listen to how it makes other people feel. You know, we feel like crap just talking to her.
Although I snap back, I'm very resilient.
Yeah.
I'm like the band on a pair of jockey shorts, Drew. Snap right back into place.
But sometimes causes severe allergy.
Yes, Joey.
Yeah.
You're 20.
Yep.
What's going on there, Joey?
Then I have a question, but I have a follow-up question on somebody else. Can I ask it?
Yeah.
What is during like the woman's menstrual cycle?
Mhm.
What is the most potent time they could get pregnant? Is it during the period?
No, it's about 14 to 18 days out there.
Oh.
After
the period, yeah.
No, I always thought it was because there was a new egg and.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but the new egg comes in or drops or it gets hatched or something like 2 weeks afterward.
But
Normally.
Yeah, sometimes some wayward eggs find their way into that tube.
Right.
Joey, what's up?
Okay, my question is, I've been like around with like a little bit over 10 people, and only like one person has been able to like give me the climax, ejaculate.
What was his name?
I don't know.
What was different about that time?
It just seemed like she really knew how to move it. She knew what was going on.
Can you be more specific?
Was
like,
it
it seemed like she did everything perfect.
Who was it? That Carmen Electra?
No, wait a minute. That's an interesting statement. She did everything perfect.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Why does everything have to be perfect?
It doesn't, but it just seemed like...
Well, it does, though, doesn't it?
Well, it seems like...
How does it make you feel when it's not perfect?
I don't know. It just... Like, besides that, a couple times I got off it like that, but it was just like... It just happened. But, it seems like I realized that it's not only a physical thing.
Right.
You have to be, like, emotional, like, breathing and everything.
And what?
Like, breathing, it seems like breathing has to be right for just to happen.
But for you, it sounds like everything has to be perfect. The perfection and the absolute control over the situation is an essential part of this for you. Huh?
I don't know.
But
Drew, is that? I don't get that.
I didn't have control over it. She controlled the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe that's part of your image of perfection in that act, though.
That's a lame argument. Why'd you let this catch slip? Why didn't you gaff this catch on board, Joey? That's what I'm saying. Why aren't you still with this woman?
Because she kind of knows everybody, if you catch my drift.
She's done this before with some of your friends, maybe?
Nah, just about the whole neighborhood. But they're not my friend, just a lot. She's been around.
Oh, okay. See, that's how you learn stuff.
But how he needs that. I don't know. He needs.
Nah, I'm not getting I don't know. I'm not getting a weird vibe off, Joey.
No,
I'm not getting a great vibe off him.
Not a weird. But guys get this way. They get into needing. The women have to be a certain way.
All right.
There's different kinds of issues for different men. I mean,
Joey?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You've never had a long-term partner.
Longest was about 9 months.
Didn't you have an orgasm with her?
A couple times. It was nothing like... It was just like a little, like, relaxed relief. Maybe a little came out, but...
Make the noise it would have made.
No.
Please. Go ahead, Joey.
What, at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, time to relax.
No, I meant that... No.
You see how everything is about... He's so anxious about it. Things aren't
There you
good.
go.
That...
Well, Joey, why couldn't you, in 9 months, which is a long enough period of time, sort of sexually dial in that partner?
It seemed like she was like... She's been with a couple people. It seemed like she was very shy, though. She's been, like, a handful of people before that, but she was always, like kind of when it's your first time, don't look at me.
Okay. All right. Joey, don't think about this so much. Find somebody, have a connected relationship with them,
there you go.
And then it'll sort it all out.
Thank you, Adam.
Well, here's what guys need. Guys aren't like women. Women are sort of the they're sort of the recipient of sex in a way.
Yes, and actually there is a biological explanation for that. I mean, for instance, estrogens make women more receptive. There's a sort of a receptive phase to their menstrual cycle, even.
Right, and they just sort of they get sex given to them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone they don't like these comments, but listen, it's true. But they'll be more pissed at you for agreeing with me.
Well, no, but there's a biological basis for that, but there's more of that quality to what they do than a man.
So here's what I'm saying. I think a woman could go through her teen years and her early 20s, have a handful of partners, and, she may not hone her form, but it's not going to screw her up that much. Guys, they need one long-term relationship, maybe even if it's only 6 months, but they need one partner that they really cut their teeth on. It's not really even their teeth, it's more their sack or something, but they need that one person. Most guys can all close their eyes and look back at the time where they were pretty goofy leading up because they had a string of, one-night stands or experimental sort of sexual adventures, and then they met this one person, especially if it was an older woman and maybe a woman who had a little experience, and they really hone their form with this person, and then after that, they'd sort of earn their sexual wings. I don't believe Joey's really had that. Joey needs that. And it's not just a pure sexual thing. I mean, it's a bonding, it's an emotional thing too, but Joey hasn't gone through that in his life, I don't believe. He needs to work that out for himself. All right, so stop thinking about it so much. Just have a relationship, get into somebody, and let nature take its course.
You have 5 seconds.
Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Do you know what Loveline does? They straighten out your problems with your love life, and we do it better than anybody.
Who'd you talk to?
Itkin, I thought.
Huh? Yeah, but you talk Itkin once, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't get to keep the money. Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Drew Daddy. Yes, the board certified one. All right, here we go. Drew, we ready to trounce on?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
You're 21.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Well, I'm wondering if my cousin, when I was younger, I think he molested me. I don't know if it really counts as molestation.
What did he do?
He fondled me. He touched his penis to my vagina. I don't know if I can say that, but
How old were you?
I was probably about 5 or 6.
And how old was he?
He's 4 years older than me, so he's about 9 or 10. I'm not really sure the ages. It's around there.
And what's your question?
I was wondering if it's affecting my life now. I'm having quite a few problems with trust in men and that sort of thing. I'm wondering if that affects it at all.
How many occasions did this happen on?
I can remember 2. I think it probably happened on more, but I can specifically remember 2.
Yeah, it can sure affect you.
My grandmother would bring us over, and we'd sleep in the same bed, and he would do it at night when we were asleep in the bed, or one time on the way back from something. I'm from Arkansas, so we were coming back from Little Rock to my hometown, and we were in the back of the car, and he was fondling my breast, touching. You know, I mean, I didn't have any at the time. I didn't understand. You know, I didn't know what was going on.
But it certainly is a intrusion.
It's kind of weird that, how traumatized can be that he fondled something that was only going to show up 5 years later.
But it's that sexual quality that appear when they come on to a young child tends to be very confusing and very disturbing to them.
Yes, and here's what I would have to say about this, because Drew and I differ just a little bit, which is, if this is something that happened one time, or maybe even twice...
It doesn't have to be a big deal if it happens once or twice. It doesn't have to be.
Right, okay.
But the proof is in the pudding with Joanne. She's having trouble. And there's some, that's reasonable that's a place that can come from.
A lot of folks have trouble, though.
Well, listen,
I'm just playing devil's advocate
right.
here.
You're right, though.
You know what, though? I mean, I never really thought about it a lot and never really considered it much for a very long time while I was growing up and stuff. And now that I'm getting older, I kind of think of it more and I wonder, basically because I've listened to y'all's show a lot, and I'm wondering if maybe...
I think these things have a impact that's not always obvious. In other words, your life goes on, and then these things have sort of seeded in your psyche in ways that can affect you later.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. I mean, God only knows what things in your life had a significant impact and what didn't.
It's hard, isn't it?
And you would assume it's the ones you remember most readily.
Not necessarily at all.
Not necessarily. Although I would think that the ones that you remember and seem to recall or relive would have more of an impact, but who the hell knows? And I'm not sure if anyone knows that, and it may vary slightly from person to person. Yeah. All I know is I wouldn't treat things as if they were, because you don't really get anything out of that unless you're planning on going to therapy and working through them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just have one more reason why you suck in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, but the point is she has some insight. She knows where it may be coming from. She identified the problem in the present. Let's see if she can manage it. Do something different.
Right. Okay.
Do something different.
Good.
If you can't, then we got a problem.
And it did happen quite a few times. And
But listen, if she finds a quality relationship where she learns she can trust somebody, those issues may go away.
Right. Celeste.
Yeah.
Hi.
Sorry.
What's up?
Well, I found myself, having fantasies about my brother, and it, started back in December, and it's, I was with my boyfriend, and I called out his name.
Your brother.
Yes, my brother.
Now, see, to our listeners, that would have been calling out your boyfriend's name. Do you know what I mean?
No.
The concrete thinking.
Oh, yes, yes.
She, even though she talks about her brother for 5 minutes, she says, I was with my boyfriend, I called out his name.
Yeah.
They would all think it was her boyfriend's name.
No.
I mean, I know. I'm just confusing us.
We're just trying to clarify so our listeners who have a certain style of thinking are also clear.
Right. You called out your twin brother's name.
Yeah, well, I was with my boyfriend.
Yes.
Here's my whole, let me give you my policy. I don't shout anything out during sex. Except for, I'll yell like, make room for daddy or something,
please.
but I don't ever yell anyone's name. Because, I mean, I have a form of Tourette's where, I'll just yell something out, retarded, it's going to be someone else's name. It's too risky. Don't do it.
With you, you would necessarily do the thing that you were concerned you might do.
Right.
An old girlfriend, an old boyfriend.
I would say, I'm going to shout out my girlfriend's name, and then I would hesitate and think, well, be careful, and don't shout out Cynthia's name, who's your last girlfriend, and then Cynthia would come flying out. So, in that case, I don't do anything. I treat sex like...
like the rest of your life.
Right. No. I was going to say, smartass, like, when a guy gets arrested and he wants to wait for his attorney, and they're trying to question him, and sweat him, and get some stuff. You know why? Because anything you say...
be used against you.
That's right. Yeah. Don't even bring it up. All right, so anyway, Celeste yells out her twin brother's name.
So we want to know why you're so preoccupied about your brother. What's the deal there?
I have no clue why I'm preoccupied with him.
Well, don't you always have to be sort of preoccupied with your twin?
Well, that's true, because everybody makes stupid comments about it.
Like what?
Like, oh, how cute. You don't rarely see a boy and a girl twin and crap like that.
Do you guys look the same?
To, like, an extent, you have to look the same. Well, you basically look the same if you're twins.
No, Celeste, no.
What are the...
Celeste, your genetics are entirely different than your brother's.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you were the same sex and identical, could you be identical?
True, but we look...
You can't be identical and be different sex.
No.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
No, Celeste.
Yeah.
You're not the same as your brother.
So you know they're not identical just because of the fact that they have different sets of junk.
Identical twins have the exact genetic identical makeup.
Right. Other than that, you're just born at the same time?
Right. That's the only similarity between your brother. You're born at the same day.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's not that you have to be bonded to him because he's so much similar. He's not. Different person, separate person. However,
so what do they have?
can contribute to
Identical
them.
twins and fraternal twins?
And, parents can really contribute to that sense of fusion in multiples. You really, as a parent, have to work hard at making sure that each one feels like a totally separate whole person, not part of a pair.
What did your boyfriend do when you yelled out your brother's name?
He was all, what? And I made up the most lamest excuse I could ever think of.
Grizzly bear?
Was what?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I said something, I thought he came to the door or something.
Huh.
I did something that just popped into my mind.
Yeah, that's not that.
Flip out.
Yeah, okay. So he bought that?
Yeah, and I was like...
Your twin sister.
Huh?
Go ahead.
And I was just wondering, should I say anything to him about it? To my brother?
No.
That's
come on.
lovely.
Plus,
what, are you retarded?
Well, I don't know.
Well, do you want to have sex with him?
No, no.
Well, why don't you just tell him last time you farted, too?
What's the quality of this preoccupation? What kinds of things are you thinking about with as far as your brother goes?
I have dreams. I don't remember whole dreams, but I remember flashes of dreams.
And what happens in the dreams?
I would have a dream it was my brother's face, but with my boyfriend's name, and then with my boyfriend's face and my brother's name, stuff like that.
All right, so there's something about this relationship with the boyfriend that is challenging or calling out issues about your relationship with your
you think
twin
your
brother.
Brother ever did anything to you?
Well, we shared a room for 7 years.
And
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I remember waking up and he'd be lying next to me, but I thought it was just because he was scared of something.
That's normal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, but see, Celeste, all right, let me talk to Drew privately for a second, Celeste. In the next room, Drew, come here.
Okay.
She has a certain energy with this, and she is kind of confused about it, but there's more than she's letting on. and there's something going on, and she has fears that are more than what meets the ear.
Yeah, but
there's something going on here.
Yeah, but I don't think it's our usual stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he ritualistically molested her and tortured her or something like that, but there's something going on.
I think it's the quality of how they were raised as a unit as opposed to separate people.
So
now that she's being called upon to be a separate person in another relationship with a male, it's confusing to her. She doesn't have a whole sense of herself without the brother being there as part of that unit having the relationship. You see that?
No. Yeah. Honestly, Celeste, do you think your brother was ever inappropriate with you?
No.
Would you shush up?
Do I think he was?
Yeah.
Like, did he do anything to me? He never, like, touched me, no. Not as far as I know.
Okay.
I can never remember.
Okay. All right.
I'm right.
All right. So he never did anything to you that way?
No.
No. Okay. You're just having trouble...
individuating.
Right. Okay. Chalk one up for the Drewster. Let me just sell a quick call before we go to break here.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you want this call better? Hold on a second. Steve.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. You're 20?
Yep.
You have trouble saying no to sex?
That's right.
With guys?
No, with women.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Just shows everybody who's on the screen right now. How much trouble does that get you into?
Well, I'm seeing this one girl, and I'm having trouble, like, saying no to her, like...
Sexually?
Sexually, yeah.
Okay, this is good. We'll go to break, and then we'll figure out why Steve can't just say no.
Loveline. Be right back.
Good granola. Yes, the lovely Mighty Mighty Bomb Stones. All right. We're going to take a little 10-second breather here. That's good radio talk. And we'll be right back in a scant 10. Hey, it's Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I want to thank some of the folks out there who have done some of the unofficial Loveline web pages. I checked them out Friday night, just for the hell of it. Now, I don't know how to work a computer, but my girlfriend does, and I said, why don't we go check it out? And checked out a few of them, and a lot of them are interesting and had a lot of good stuff, and I was profoundly flattered by those who did it. I thought, who the hell would take time to do this? I certainly wouldn't. So, don't they have, like, companies that make, like, roach bait and stuff that have web pages and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you a hypothetical, Drew. Do you think there's another... I'll ask Engineer Mike this question since he seems to know more about this. Do you think there's another radio show of the size of Loveline that doesn't have a web page?
Go even more broader. Anything in the media anywhere.
Anything in the media anywhere.
That doesn't have a web page.
That has a few affiliates and makes some numbers.
Even Massengill has their own web page.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm sure even, yes, much more obtuse products than their own web page.
So let's review. There's no Loveline radio web page, and we've been deleted from... Or actually, deleted isn't fair because I don't believe we've ever been on any MTV web page. I'm not quite sure why that is, but don't worry. Everything's been noted.
You're still making your list.
Oh, yes. I'm checking it twice. And believe me, Santa will be coming to town soon, and there'll be many a disappointed youngster in Hollywood.
Steve. So, you said, what do you mean you have trouble saying no to sex? What does that mean?
Well, I'm basically looking for a girl right now, and, like, I'm seeing this one girl.
Yeah.
She's a good friend of mine, and basically, like, it comes down, like, sexually sometimes, And
you can't say no to her?
Well, it's basically...
What does she think is... Why would you say no to her?
Well, I don't really like her that way,
Does she think you do?
No, I've told her this.
Does she believe you?
Yes.
I will suggest.
Is she a big gal?
Not too big, no.
Yeah, but
about the same size as me.
I will promise you that whether or not it's happening now, it will eventually happen, that her feelings will become rather substantial in this relationship.
Yeah.
Women...
Her feelings are going to get bigger in her ass, Steve.
Well, that's a nice...
It's true.
Well, look. women can have detached experiences, but they have difficulty doing it, and they don't do it for long, typically. So I would...
and there's something wrong with those who do.
Typically.
Flawed.
Yeah,
oh, certainly.
Is acting something out, typically.
Sure.
Do you have any advice how I can, like, find someone? Like,
why don't you just...
Basically, I look at people, and I see through them, and it seems like human nature, like, it's always, like, sexual, and I always tend to go back to that sexual human nature to see, like, the sexual feelings in people.
What do you say?
Steve, what do you do?
I have trouble talking to people because it's like, I just look and it's just like sex, you know?
They're thinking sex or you're thinking sex?
Well, it's sometimes it's mutual.
Where did you first encounter that in people? How old were you?
Probably, whatever, it's like puberty stage,
Or anything
16,
before?
17.
Was that any way thrust upon you earlier?
See, I see chicks and I think masturbate, but I rarely think sex.
Oh, yeah, well,
because you know better.
Sexual. It's like a sexual feeling,
I had the sex. Actually, I just got sex, and I didn't even get the third sex out before it was stomped out early in high school.
But I wonder why these sorts of natural biological phenomenon are so unpleasant to you and speak poorly of human nature as opposed to it being incorporated into the general aspects of the human being.
I have trouble, like...
Why?
I have trouble talking to people, because it's like for like 5 seconds I talk to them, and then all of a sudden it's like my mind goes somewhere else, and like...
Why?
Steve, do you read a lot?
That's why I'm asking, I don't know.
You read?
No.
Thank God for that. Think of the trouble he'd be in if the boy read. What do you do? You sound like one of these sort of quasi-intellectual types. No?
He's just up in his head. He's detached.
What's that?
What do you do for a living, Steve?
I'm a musician,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, that's bad.
Well, I don't know. What kind of music do you play? Some sort of bongo thing and some sort of eclectic crap group?
No, it's more like soul music.
Yeah. You're one of these white guys that thinks he's black?
Not really. I don't think I'm black. I'm more Latino. I got a Latino background.
Steve,
right. Stop thinking so much.
Well, I think
What's going on?
Sorry about that.
What's going on with him, Drew?
I don't know. So you weren't exposed to sexuality until you had reached puberty. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You've never been exposed to anything prior to that.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Were you exposed to sex in some fashion prior to puberty?
No. I've been in love with this one girl for about 5 years.
Since you were 15.
Wait a minute. Prior to puberty is after puberty, isn't it?
Prior.
It's before?
Before.
What, having like a brain lock?
Prior to, before. Am I right?
Richard
As
Pryor.
opposed to subsequent to.
Pryor comes after the name Richard. Richard Pryor.
I see. It's after. I see. Well, Steve's got some stuff going on there. Obsessed about a girl since he was 15.
Yeah.
Gets these intrusive thoughts about sexuality and people. I don't know, Steve, something is wrong. Something's not right there. Hey, Steve?
Yeah.
Steve, do you do any drugs?
Of course, he's in a Latin rhythm section.
What drugs do you do?
I don't really like doing drugs anymore, so I haven't really.
What did you do? You do much acid?
No.
Do you ever hear voices or see things that aren't there, anything like that?
No.
Never hear voices sort of calling your name or anything of that sort?
No, I hear your voice right now.
I understand. Oh, boy.
Steve's kind of a wise ass.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. Listen, I don't know. Steve's fine. He's 20 years old. You're supposed to be effed up when you're 20.
All right. There's something to that.
Yeah.
It just sounded like a little more than usual. Maybe it's something of a psychiatric nature coming on. So.
Right. Oh, really?
Well, those intrusive thoughts and these detached feelings and obsession about... You missed the fact that he'd been obsessed about a girl since he was 15.
Well, I heard that. Well, I didn't say obsessed. Okay, maybe. He didn't use the word obsessed. I was too busy thinking about Pryor and why I thought Pryor was after.
Subsequent. After.
Yeah, but...
Post.
I know.
Prior to...
I know. You're right, because if you pick a date like... prior to World War II, a submarine had never been used in the Atlantic or something.
Right.
Okay. Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it had.
You do have a weird brain.
Yeah, I don't know why. Certain words just stick and jump out, and they get weird, and then you say them enough, and they don't mean anything.
Right.
Say like the word spatula 150 times, and it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Sam, what's up?
First of all, I just want to tell y'all I love your show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Adam, you're really funny.
Thanks.
And Drew, a lot of your advice has helped me out a lot.
Oh, good.
Thanks. Basically, what I was wondering, I was at a party a couple weeks ago, and I was with this girl, and we were smoking some blunts and stuff. And we got together, you know.
Hey, what's in a blunt these days? Is it coke or weed or what?
No, it was weed.
Oh.
Just straight up
I
stuff.
just made weed when I say that.
Really?
I think. So I understand it.
See, there used to be a time when a blunt was like a Cocoa Puff or something, where they take a blunt. A blunt is a brand of cigarette, right?
Yeah.
And they would, work a little cocaine into it.
And marijuana.
Yeah. I don't know. This could just be all some Valley Stoner memory that's failing me. Could be thinking of prior.
Well, Sam, what's your question?
So anyway, we were getting
You're
together.
smoking pot. All right.
And we had sex.
Yeah.
And I noticed my orgasm was, like, incredible. The biggest one I ever had. And I was wondering if it was because of the marijuana.
Yeah.
No.
Probably.
Nah.
Sure.
No.
Listen, wise ass, let me ask you a question. If you can get stoned and enjoy a episode of Star Trek about 10 times as much as you normally would, don't you think you could get stoned and enjoy an orgasm twice as much as you normally would? Of course you can.
Because that biology is quite different.
Thank you.
But I suspect it's the person and the experience.
Listen, here's the deal with pot. Yeah, you can get stoned and have an orgasm, and it really can be much different and much better than the last one you had when you weren't stoned. But the thing is of course, please, Drew, you reside in Squaresville, so you don't know what you're talking about, but I'm a hipster. And I know of what I speak. But here's the situation.
The only way that happens is if you're, I believe it can happen to addicts, because the euphoric centers are stimulated for a marijuana addict. So you're confirming my suspicion about you, which I've had all along.
You can, let me explain. You can get high and you can experience almost anything differently than you normally had experienced it in the past. You can laugh harder at a George Carlin album. You can wrestle with your dog on the floor, and that can be a sort of new and different experience, or you can have an orgasm. Now, here's the deal. That's based on you not being high the 1,000 times you had the orgasm before. If you then just decide to get high before you have sex each time, then that orgasm just becomes the standard orgasm. You understand? There's nothing different about it, because the last 20 orgasms you had, you were stoned off your ass. And it can be enjoyable, but eventually it just is what it is. And it's not any better, it's just different.
Then what about when you're not high? That becomes less is?
It becomes a different experience until you have a few of them in a row, and then it becomes the same experience again. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're just talking like an addict to me, so let's just go on.
Drew, you know I'm right, and that's why you want to move on.
You're speaking like many an addict I've talked to in my time. Go ahead.
Listen.
Hey, dog.
Drew, answer me this. Seriously, if a bag of Cheetos in a episode of The Fall Guy can be that much different and that much better when you're stoned off your ass, why can't an orgasm, which already inherently has a lot of pleasure attached to it, be that much better when you're stoned?
Because the biology of each of those experiences is entirely different.
No, it's not.
Your food is more gratifying because your insulin levels are up and you're hungry and that sort of thing.
Okay, what makes The Fall Guy so much better?
I can't.
Lee Majors is a better actor when you're stoned?
I agree with you that things are more interesting or humorous. There's that sort of quality to things.
There's that element. I mean, you can have more fun shaving when you're stoned if you only get stoned once in a while. If you get stoned all the time and shave all the time, then it just becomes you shaving again stoned. Thank you. Yeah, you girls know what I'm talking about. Lisa doesn't like when I look at her. Julie.
Hi.
You're 15.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I just want to say I like you guys.
Thanks.
Oh, Julie.
You got that little girl voice going.
4.
You scare us.
Sorry.
What's going on?
I'm kind of nervous. I think that, I might be sexually addicted.
Oh, now the gambling's really going to begin.
This is a layup. We don't have to gamble.
Oh, okay.
No, before you start gambling, I know how you guys gamble, and
Right.
I was never, like, abused or raped or any of that stuff.
Oh, Drew, it's not a layup.
Then it's the other side of that coin.
What happened?
The eating disorder and all that.
I was anorexic.
There you go. There you go.
Whoa. And I'm going to give Drew 50 cents, 75 cents for that. And I think Mike and Lisa and Ann should all contribute a little something to that. Yes, he was so...
Mike gave you the feh.
He was so confident. He was so confident with the sexual abuse, and then soon as that was denied, he went immediately to the eating disorder and just nailed it.
It has to be.
Right.
It
Yes,
just
he
has
is.
to. Certain things have to be. Thank you. That'll be fine. We'll take my quarter back.
Hey, you ate half my granola bar, please.
So, Julie, do you understand what we're getting at here?
There you go.
Yeah.
That there is a, we talk an awful lot about abusive and dysfunctional families, and really we're talking about fundamentally as parents that lack empathy for kids, that they're acting out their own stuff on their kids. And parents can do that in a lot of ways. They can be overtly abusive, they can sexually act out, or they can be intrusive and annihilating and take you to ballet when you're 3 and make you have piano and just demand things of you that they need you to do without having any concern for how you respond to it, or what you need, or nurturing a totally separate sense of yourself with some sense of self-worth. And so you sort of stop developing. You just become empty.
Yeah. The tip-off was the little girl voice at the beginning.
That's what tells us that there's been some arrest of some type. And it's very common for young girls with eating disorder, young ladies, to also, particularly bulimics, to become sexual compulsives. Okay. Did you have a lot of bulimic symptoms? Or was it just anorexia?
Yeah, I was, like, anorexic with bulimic.
Yeah, and so...
Wait a minute. Bulimic is not eating? No, wait. It's vomiting, and anorexia is not eating.
And the most common circumstance...
But they're usually both, right?
Is both, yeah, anorexia, bulimia.
I had a mild bout of bulimia last weekend after my surprise party. Although...
I'm not sure that counts.
Oh, pot and booze don't count?
No, you have to be very careful about defining your terms. Julie, did you have your eating disorder treated?
Yes,
And how was it treated?
I was hospitalized.
And are you still in some kind of treatment for that, 12-step program or therapy?
I have group.
You still going?
Off and on.
You need to get involved there, and you really, maybe some individual therapy would help you at this point too, because these behaviors are part of the more general syndrome we're talking about. And I don't think you have to necessarily give yourself another diagnosis, though certainly people with eating disorders do sometimes have addictions of various types. But the whole 12-step process will help with that. Some individual therapy where you gain a sense of yourself so you don't go on abusing yourself this way, and find ways to connect with people in a gratifying and healthy way.
Sexually addicted, right? What was
she's
your question?
Sexually acting out. She thinks she's a sex addict, and I'm saying not maybe not, but she doesn't need to add another diagnosis. She just needs to focus on the treatment she's already in.
And listen, everybody who gets addicted, it's like, here's the way I look at addiction. I'm trying to come up with one of my lame analogies, but it's like this sort of, it's like you're, trying to think. It's like, here's what it is. Oh, Christ, this one's going to suck. It's like your pinball machine, and there's one of those big silver balls inside of you, and it's an alcoholic ball for a while, and it's really doing the machine some damage, so they convert it. And it's not into alcohol anymore, but it's into gambling, it chain smokes, it drinks too much coffee, it's sexually addictive, but it's like you can't remove that ball from the machine. All you can do is hope that it bounces a little different way and gets into something else and doesn't do as much damage. One minute you're bulimic, the next minute you're sexually addicted, then you get rid of that, now you're into gambling.
Right.
Then you're into chain smoking.
Unless
you
you
drink 2
find
pots
ways-
of coffee and smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, and you have horrible relationships. I mean,
you have to manage
but
that,
you have to work on all aspects of it.
Yes.
Just because you started out with booze or pills or eating or whatever your form of addiction was, it doesn't mean the addiction's going to go away just because you stop taking the booze.
Right. Oh, absolutely. If it's truly addiction.
Right. Athena.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, you're 16.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm friends with this guy, and we don't get along at all. We've been friends for like 2 years, and we just fight all the time. And I know things aren't like working out, but we're still trying to make things work out. And everyone seems to think that, we should be friends.
We can't hear you, Athena.
Yeah, my parents are asleep.
We cannot,
Okay.
we cannot
Wait
hear
a
you.
minute. I can hear.
No, it's not registering on the board here.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll tell everyone what Athena's problem is. She's been friends with this guy for like 4 years. They never really get along, and everyone thinks they should or shouldn't be friends, but she wants to know if she should keep on being friends. But here's my point. Who cares? You're just friends.
Well, I mean, maybe it's...
Well, you don't get along. You don't get along.
You made a point over and over about how important friends are, but the fact is you don't get along. That's right.
They're not your friend.
It's not a friendship anymore. And you, just like with any other relationship, you don't hang in.
I
with
suspect
abuse.
Athena must be attracted to this guy. Of course. Otherwise, you don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're attracted to him.
It's all the more reason to end this relationship because that's a fantasy. If he were into you, he would be in. And that's probably where the conflict is coming from too. He won't cooperate with what she needs him to do.
Well, here's what happens with friends, especially teenage friends. One of them is enamored with the other. The other doesn't know it. The other goes about business like you would.
It pisses people off.
They start talking about a date they had the night before, start asking them helping them pick out a shirt because they got a hot date coming up. And then the person gets pissed off, and then an argument ensues, and no one knows what it's about.
About lemonade or something totally unrelated.
Drew, guess which end of that spectrum I was on. Do you want to just take a wild guess which one I was? Was I the person who was being sought after and dating other people, or was I the pathetic one who was pining away for the woman who took no interest in me?
Okay, let me think.
Yeah, you want to
pathetic pining.
Oh, you are so lucky, man, Drew. Talk about a stab in the dark. But I've paid them all back now by not having any sex with anybody.
You are a bitter, vengeful man.
Oh, please.
You have to burn your list.
Please.
You need a little, what would the word be? Forgiveness in your life.
Oh, I forgive everybody.
Commercial.
Okay.
Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. The phone number's 1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back.
With Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes, you is. I haven't heard much from Slash in a while, have you?
No. It's okay.
Was he okay when you were hearing things from him?
He was okay, but just barely.
All right. I like Slash because Slash, beneath all the hair and pot and whatever else he's got going on, is just a very he's a warm and fuzzy guy. He's like a newborn with vocabulary, limited but vocabulary.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll just talk to you about anything.
Yeah.
And he has a sort of weird memory too, which is one time when I saw him, I was wearing a shirt that said, I almost use the S word there, but what was the name of the shirt I had? Oh, it was Hustler or something. It's the one I'm wearing in that Loveline picture, that red shirt, Penthouse. What's the name of that magazine?
Style. What was that? Wait.
Hey, Ann, what's the name of that shirt I'm wearing in the me and Drew picture?
Let's go in the lobby and check it out. It's one of those men's magazines.
It's
going to drive me crazy now.
We should know.
High Society.
There you go.
High Society. Thanks, Ann.
You're welcome.
So, speaking of high, I couldn't remember the name. I've seen that picture. How many autographs of that picture have I signed, Ann?
Thousands.
And I was wearing a T-shirt that has High Society very predominantly pasted across the front of it. And Drew, you've signed thousands as well.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea.
No.
It's weird how the human mind works. Yet I remember my mom not attending a football game a Pop Warner football game when I was 8. Isn't that great? I love the human mind. The crap you're supposed to remember that's not going to hurt you, you don't remember.
Yeah.
And the stuff you shouldn't remember, it gets like etched
Blame on
in your cerebellum.
Your hippocampus.
Right. So anyway, Slash really dug the shirt, and I said if I saw him again and he did the TV show, I'd give him the shirt. And when I saw him, it was like one of the first things he said is, "Where's the shirt?" And this is 6 months later, and you just you wouldn't think Slash would remember things like that.
But he did.
Angie.
Yeah.
But he's a really nice guy. I'd like to let's say hi to him again. You're 18.
Yes.
What's going on?
I'm having some problems with my mom. She's become extremely verbally, abusive.
This is the first time she's been this way?
No, she's always kind of said horrible, like when she gets mad, she'd say mean things. But lately, it's just been really, really bad.
Like, give us the example. What happened?
Something will happen, like I come home late.
Something happened tonight?
Huh?
Something happened tonight?
Something did happen tonight.
What happened tonight?
Well, we had a fight. It started over something stupid.
Like what?
I don't even remember what it was, but she blew up and she called me names, showed me that I was a whore and that I deserved to be raped. And she just went off on this thing. And then she threatened to call.
She ought to get in the greeting card business, this one. Dear daughter, you're a whore, you deserve to be raped. Love, Mom, on this very special occasion.
Yeah.
So are you saying that you were raped at some point, or that you are going to be raped?
No, she just. I don't know why she said that. I mean, I'm a virgin. I don't do drugs. I'm not out having sex.
What's up with Mom? What's her life like?
Well, life lately has been really stressful for everybody. She's had breast cancer recently. She's had some problems with my dad, her ex-husband. Her father just died. There's been a lot of stress, and that's why,
Is she on any medication?
Yeah, she's on, oh, God, it's a depression medication.
Okay. Is she on anything else?
She's taking Xanax. I know she's taking that, and,
All right. Is she on tamoxifen for her breast cancer or anything like that?
No, she had a total mastectomy.
She had
the breast removed.
And then she had chemo after that?
Yeah, she had chemo after that, and she's been over that for a while, but there's been some long-term effects, and she's having some problems with doctors, and, she's having a lot of problems, and that's why, I don't know what to do, because I sympathize with the fact that she's having problems, but I don't feel that I deserve to be taking the beating.
You don't. And that statement in and of itself speaks quite a bit about the health that you maintain.
Yeah.
You know it's not right. You're not going to be a victim of this.
I know that.
And you need to get out of that house. You're not constantly...
Well, here's the problem. I mean, I feel guilty leaving her because she doesn't have a job right now. And
well, Angie,
so
I think I think you'd be much better able to help her from a place of autonomy. You know what I mean?
What city is that in?
If you have a separate life that you can help sustain yourself, then you'll be able to come in and help her without being destroyed by all this or sucked into this morass.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still help her. I'm not saying abandon her, but you need to protect yourself so you don't just become part of the chaos. I mean, how helpful can you be when you're being just inundated with this stuff?
It says on the screen you called the police on her?
No, she called the police on me tonight because we had a fight, and she told them that I was beating her up and I was hitting her and I abused her. And
you didn't touch her?
No.
Listen, I just want to digress for a second here, Drew. As part of my Save the Nation policy, if the cops show up at your house and whatever you said happened to you didn't happen to you, they do it to you. I mean, if you claim... Oh, for Christ's sake.
I see. You mean to the mom.
You're calling the cops because your daughter beat you up, and then you
How
show
would you
up...
prove that on the spot, though?
If you're not marked...
they're going to mark you.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
remember how you said you were beat up? Guess what? Here goes. I'm talking about a light pistol whipping, Drew. Don't get me wrong.
Shouldn't it be the third domestic violence call?
I am so effing sick and tired of people using the cops as their sort of personal go-between, actually as a threat.
Yeah.
It's not your big brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Screw you. Oh, I'm going to F with this person. I'll call the cops. They'll get over there. But scared. Meanwhile, I'm being sodomized in the park by 15 gang members. You know what I mean? Because the cops are rolling over to your house because your daughter... And you're claiming your daughter did something to you they didn't even do. And by the way, even if your daughter does whack you on, it's your daughter. You deserve it. I don't believe cops should ever show up for domestic stuff. And if they ever... Okay, they get once. And if the chick don't get out of there, or the guy, or whoever's getting beaten up, unless there's someone underage, screw you. You're on your own. Next time they come in and just start shooting people. I swear to God, Drew, believe me, you don't think this way, but wait till there's some guy crawling around in your house and you call the cops. It takes them an hour and 45 minutes to get there because they're going to the same house for the third time that week.
Right.
Please. Everyone gets one 911 call per year, and that's it. Anyone out? Any more than that? You're getting a beating. Angie?
Yeah.
So the cops showed up,
Uh-huh.
and your mom wasn't beaten?
No.
Good. They should have arrested her or fined her. What did they do?
Well, they just came in and they talked to me about just, that I need to take, I need to get counseling, and my mom didn't press charges or anything. I think she said she just wanted to scare me or teach me a lesson.
That's perfect. Taught you a great lesson. What do you think it cost us to have two guys in a unit come over to someone's house and waste 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Please. I swear to God, I get an extra garbage can at my house. It costs me $10 a month. This is a freebie? The charger. All right, anyway. Your mom's a nutcase, but she's been through a ton, Angie.
Yeah.
And she's, you need to call the doctor that's prescribing her medication. She may be completely on the wrong medication. She needs a psychiatrist. God knows she needs a medical evaluation, too, that her tumor may be back. She may have other metabolic problems. I mean, when you have medical conditions, all bets are off until you've had that thoroughly checked through to make sure that's not what's causing a decompensation in her behaviors. Then she's on medications that are known to have sort of potential to cause problems. Make sure an expert is managing those medications.
Drew, you know how many times I've called the cops in my entire life?
Zero.
That's why the one time I do call them, after 34 years of not calling them, I'd like them to show up. I swear to God. But then I can't. All right. Done with these.
Stacy.
Hi.
What's up?
But I've given her beaten with that Billy Club.
Stacy, go ahead.
Okay.
There's a great, hey, listen to this, Stacy.
Okay.
There's a good Simpsons joke, and this is why Simpsons is definitely one of the best written shows on TV. Bart Simpson says to a cop, he grabs his nightstick, and he goes, hey, can I play with your club? And he says, son, we don't call it a club, we call it a baton. He goes, what do you do with it? Club people with it? No, I think actually setup was, what's it for? Clubbing people? I thought, that's true. We call it a baton. Tell Rodney King it's a baton. A baton is something a 15-year-old in knee-high boots does when she leads a parade in Flint, Michigan, in a sequins unitard. Not beat the crap out of black folks by the side of the road. The baton.
Daisy.
Okay. I just broke up with my boyfriend last Thursday, and I was spending the night at one of my friends' house, and I kind of got the hookup with someone else, but my ex-boyfriend's been calling me every day, telling me he wants me back, but when I was with him, he treated me like crap.
Good for you. Then just tell him no. That's all he needs to know, and then this will be finding the other guy, although it's a little quick and may not be the best choice necessarily. It's sort of a rebound. But finding another guy will help you end the relationship with the abusive guy.
But that's not the problem. I found out 2 days ago that I was pregnant.
Oh, of course, Drew. You didn't smell this one coming?
No.
Okay.
I told my ex-boyfriend, but my mom doesn't like him at all. I don't want to get back with him, but I want to have relations with him so that he can be in contact with the baby.
Oh, boy. Let's take this after the break.
Okay.
And there's...
Hold on.
I can't take any more.
Drew's got to vomit into the garbage pail, and then we're going to come back. We're going to sort this thing out. All right, Stacey?
Okay.
All right, so hang on. I've been using that hemp shampoo. You know that hemp shampoo?
Yeah.
It's great stuff, that hemp shampoo.
Yeah.
I put it in the bong for a little extra kick. I know it doesn't really have much. I wasn't smoking it. I mean, just as a filtration system.
For the water, yeah.
Now, here's the deal with this hemp shampoo. It's great stuff, but I was reading the label. 75 or 80 other ingredients before you get to the hemp.
Oh, sure.
And it's the same with all this crap, like the one that used to be Body on Tap. Remember the beer one?
Oh,
there's some beer in it. Oh, there's ones with honey. I like the ones where it's called like wheat germ oil and honey. It's like if honey was even in the first 25, you'd need another shampoo to wash the honey out, you retards. How is it, Drew, that we can live in a society where the number one name on the product is down about 35th on the ingredients level? The chart. I mean, I swear to God, I'm going to bring a thing of this hemp shampoo in here, and I'm going to read you.
It's still a good product, though.
It works great.
Yeah.
It's
they don't need the hemp part, though.
But it's not a factor.
That's right.
I mean, it's really not.
But it will sell to all those hemp supporters.
Yeah.
They just bought a market right there.
Hey, listen, I love the hemp too, but it's not in the product, really. All right, we'll be back.
I feel so liquidy.
Really? Why?
You're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, I'll be right back.
Call Loveline. 1-800-LOVE-19.
You is. All right. Here we go.
Back to Stacy, ex-boyfriend, pregnant with, broke up last week. Why'd you break up with the guy? He was abusive, right?
He broke up with me.
And now he wants you back.
He broke up with me because he wanted me to get some of my friends to go over to his house. So because he was having a party, and I said no, and he's like, well, fine, I'm not calling you anymore. And then he called me a couple days ago saying he was sorry and everything, and I'm like, no, I'm not having it.
Even though he's the father of your child.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the guy you got together with at the party?
No.
How do you know it's not his kid?
That was last night.
Oh. Maybe he's got really fast swimming sperm. I got to start. Drew?
Yeah.
Make a note for me to start listening to the calls.
Yes, thanks.
I went to a doctor, and they said I was a month and a half pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was with this other guy.
Right, I understand.
Friday.
And you're going to see it through, huh? Adoption?
Well, I'm going to keep it.
How old was your mom when she had you?
She was 26.
Although she has a daughter who's 47 right now.
Her oldest daughter's 24.
Okay.
There you go.
So she was 16 when she had your sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. See how those patterns work, Stacy?
Well, my oldest sister is 20,
Yes, I do. Thank you for
24.
pointing that out.
Yes.
She had her first kid when she was 14.
Of course.
Okay.
This is brilliant.
All right, here, hold on a second. Let me talk to Drew. I know I was ranting about this just last week, but is secondhand smoke the biggest issue that this country can get behind and its politicians?
Listen, I went on that.
Do you understand that just Stacy? I'm banging the screen here, but just poor Stacy's family alone.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that this is going on. And what do you think? Where do you think Stacy's kid's going to be at 14 or 15?
Listen, I was on that GD Talkback Live on Friday, and I was attacked for romanticizing sexuality and not teaching kids not to have kids and not to have sex. Okay.
Oh, who attacked you for that?
Some emailer.
Oh, you can go blow Drew, by the way, whoever wrote that. But listen, all you idiots that are so concerned about secondhand smoke and not worried about secondhand parenting, please get your priorities straight. For Christ's sake, think about the campaign that's been launched. Think about how you never even heard of the effing term secondhand smoke
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and now it's being rammed up your ass. I swear I'm going to get cancer from hearing about secondhand smoke. What about this problem? What about Stacy's family? Stacy?
Yeah.
All right, here's what I'd like you to do.
Okay.
I'd like you to either have an abortion or give the kid up for adoption and sort of break the family. I know you guys have a rich tradition of
youthful pregnancy,
improperly raising kids while you're kids yourself, but what about breaking that chain?
Well, I've thought about having an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But it's not for me. I believe it for other people, just not for me.
What about adoption? What about for your child, giving her what she really needs?
The father really wants.
Father has nothing to do with it. This is up to you.
This is what I was thinking.
Really?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
The father wants the baby. I want the baby.
Wait, the father doesn't know anything about the baby.
What's he doing? Starting a softball team or something?
No, I told him about the baby.
How old's the father?
21.
Oh. Well, father should be arrested.
And he was the first guy I was ever with. But I told him that I was going to have the baby, and he wants relations with it. And my sister said she would be there to help me raise the baby.
Sure. She's an old maid at 24 now. Her first kid's in junior college, right?
That's my 21-year-old sister that said she'd help me raise it.
My goodness, you have how many people in your family?
6.
6. All right, listen, that's enough.
One's 3.
One's what?
3.
The youngest one's 3.
I don't know.
Anybody have a father? Anybody have a husband?
My mom's married. My older sisters are both married.
So your mom's married to the same guy?
No, we all have different fathers except for the last two.
All right. Listen, Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what's going on here, right?
Kinda.
All right. You're following in the same lame footsteps as your mom and your sisters. This is a mess. Please, give this child up for adoption. I urge you. Please, give the kid up for adoption, or suffer the same fate as you and your 6 or 5 illegitimate brothers and sisters. And as I've said, and I know I just repeat myself, but I'm begging the government to let me pay $30,000 to put on a certain kind of roof on my house. I pray every night when I go to bed that they give me the opportunity to spend $30,000 on the roof of my house, because the inspector, and I haven't got the engineering report back yet, may not let me put a real slate roof on top of my house because we have rules.
Asshole.
We have rules.
They're crucial to have those kinds of rules. They're the fabric of our society. Because God knows, without rules, things could unravel.
That's right. It's very important that I pay everyone a ton of money and have no decisions in the outcome of my own home and roof.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi, what's up?
Okay, I just wanted to say that, since the past month and a half that I heard that you were on the radio, I've been listening, every night, so I fall asleep to you.
Thank you. We've been on the radio more than a month and a half, though, I suspect.
Oh, I didn't know that, though.
She just heard it.
I just heard it. So
Where are you listening from?
Washington?
Oh, good.
Washington, D.C.?
No,
State of
Washington
Washington.
State.
Whereabouts?
Seattle area.
Okay.
I swear to God she was going to say the bunkhouse behind my parents' place. I thought she was going to give us a room.
Oh, I see.
You are sharp.
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay, my question is, my current boyfriend has constantly been nagging me to do oral sex on him, and there are things that have happened in my past that that I cannot stand.
What happened?
When I was in 9th grade, my ex-boyfriend was driving me home, and we were driving to my house.
How old was he?
He was 18 at the time.
Hold on, Drew. You don't know what happened. Hear her out. Now, she has difficulty with oral sex. She's going to relate a story about being in the 9th grade and having an 18-year-old boyfriend on the way home in a car, and probably some country road somewhere. But, Drew, let's not hop to conclusion.
All right. Let's hear the story.
Okay.
I'm guessing it has to do with the ice cream truck and one of those bomb pops.
Or not.
Right,
what happened?
Okay, anyway, so he was driving me home, and I wasn't because I had just moved up to this place, and I wasn't really familiar with my surroundings.
What did he do?
Well, he drove. I was telling him where I lived, and then we were driving, and then he
He drove you out in the woods somewhere. What happened?
Well, we were sitting in the car, and he was like, "Yeah, well, the last time you were with me, you said that you would do this," and I was like, "But I'm like, no, I don't want to."
You're 14.
I was 15. I think I was turning. Yeah, no.
All right. So,
15 and a half.
how did you get out of that? Or you had to do something?
Well, he was just he knew I didn't know where I was, and so he's just if you don't do this, then you're gonna have to walk home, and you're already late. And it was 6:30, and I was supposed to be home.
All right. Does your boyfriend know that you've had this history?
No, I can't.
Why?
I feel uncomfortable telling him.
Why?
Just because not very many people know. I mean, one person.
Yeah. How long have you been with this boyfriend?
3 months.
I think he needs to know that. I mean, because he's going to keep bugging you. It's going to get in the way of this relationship because you're going to feel violated just by his bugging you. And it's not something you're going to suddenly enjoy doing after you've been through what you went through. It's out. It's out of the question.
All right, well, hold on a second. Let me try to give you some real-world advice here. First off, the guy you performed it on was your boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
All right.
18.
I know, but he was your boyfriend.
Yeah.
You picked him. You were theoretically attracted to him at some point, right?
Yeah.
How long... Would you shut up? How long had you been going out before he forced you to do this?
A month and a half.
Month and a half. And what was the extent of your physical contact up until that point?
Just kissing and just making out, sort of, I guess.
All right, but had you promised him that you would do this for him at some point?
No. I said maybe at some point in time, but not.
I love the hypothetical, BJ. I've tried to work that angle. Listen, all you people are getting pissed off at me right now. Here's all I'm saying. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want with their own mouth and all that stuff. And this guy's an idiot, and this is why you shouldn't date guys that are 18, but you don't know when you're in the 9th grade. But here's my point. This is one occasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not reflecting back on something earlier, is it?
What's that?
Nothing happened earlier in your life.
Oh, never, no.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's not the greatest memory of the 9th grade. I don't think this has to ruin you with oral sex. I mean, I'm not saying you need to give your new boyfriend a BJ tonight. I'm just saying I don't think this has to be the end of the road for you and oral sex.
Maybe, maybe not. But that's not the issue right now.
Well, I was like, I want to at some point in time. It's
okay.
Just, like,
here's
right
what.
now, I'm just so
okay.
But he needs to know
I don't.
this.
You see, I think it's just going to freak him out. And how old's this guy? 35?
No. He's 17.
He's 17.
Yeah.
All right. Jasmine. Here's what you do. But it's great. This guy's penis pays the price for what the other guy's penis done. Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you need to do. I wouldn't tell him what went on. I think he may get freaked out. It may turn into a bigger issue. I would just explain to him, listen, I'm not ready to do this right now, and the more you pressure me, the less ready I am.
All right.
So each time you bug me, it adds time. And then, Jasmine,
yeah.
Try to work on that issue in that episode and see if you can't get past that and see what you can do to help the guy out. That's all. That's all. Not all penises are the same. Not all guys are.
That's what I hear.
Okay. Good. All right. Godspeed to you. All right. What the hell am I doing for a living, Drew? You ever stop and think about that every once in a while?
Well, only when we get into these obscure discussions.
All right.
No, we got to go.
Just shush. Sarah?
Yes?
You're 18, has had 10 lovers since you were 16, uses them for sex, and has no regrets. No. Why?
But they were all really old, too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. All right, we're going to put you on hold.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Sherry's going to get your number, and we'll deal with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Because that's too much for right now. Okay? David?
Yeah.
20 girlfriends apprehensive regarding his going away to school.
That's because relationships always break up when the guy goes
You guys
away.
are going to break up.
And that's what needs
it.
to happen. It's a normal part of
That's all right. You're going to meet some guy in the dorms, and it's all going to be over.
This is Loveline.
Loveline will be right back. It's Loveline.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess that's a good sign.
Usually.
It's either that or we don't care. Could be good or real bad omen. All right. Thank you all for listening tonight. I want to thank the beautiful Lisa and the lovely Sherry for doing a wonderful job on the phones. And really, one of the tougher jobs here. Much tougher than our job. Because it involves typing. And anything that involves typing would have to be more difficult than something that just involves talking. I also want to thank the Angular One producer, Ann, for putting her feminine stink on the show. And, of course, a one-nut wonder. The dateless one-nut wonder, Engineer Mike. So, until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed herein are not necessarily those of the staff or management or producers or directors or the advertising or anyone. They might be Bob's.
I'm Bob, and they're mine.
The producer of Loveline is Ann Wilkins. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.
Arg. We now return you to your highly tested, regularly scheduled programming. Bye.
The next time K-Rock plays